Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3368. Today's date is 22 of March 2025. It's been almost like just 1 minute. Okay, literally 1 minute. Like basically, I'm recording this artifact for 12:01 a.m. Okay, yeah. So by the way, this artifact episode not belongs to the 22nd of March. It's actually belong to the 21st of March. Okay, yeah. I'm actually recording very delay. By the way, is this thing that I wanted to record artifact episode at 10 p.m. I did record, but unfortunately, because of some sort of audio noises and stuff like that, I got a lot of disturb. And I wanted to say so many things, but I won't be able to say because disturbance. Okay, yeah. So maybe it's a part 2. Okay, yeah. Means like this is a my artifact episode number 3367 part 2 probably. Okay, yeah. So what exactly I wanted to talk? Okay, what exactly I want to talk? Okay. So basically is this thing I wanted to kind of like a something like that. Okay, I wanted to do a business. Okay, yeah. And I don't really have any of those knowledge regarding about how to do business. I haven't really done any kind of like a something MBAs or master in a business school. I haven't really done anything at all. I haven't really did anything at all regarding about business. Nothing really at all. I don't really have any uh, people around me. Nothing really at all. I watch couple of case studies and business strategy on the YouTube platform, but these are kind of like some just a video. I haven't really done any kind of like some study material and something like that. And I wanted to do a business. Wait. Okay, yeah. You from the beginning you wanted to be a filmmaker. Then you are doing YouTube, and right now you are doing business. By the way, you haven't really become any of those. You are 31. You are like I am I am unemployed, not earning any money. I'm living with my parents. I'm really pathetic. And now you are kind of like a thinking that you wanted to do business. like like have you ever considered yourself that how fucked up you are? Well, yeah, I am okay, yeah. Yes, I am. And I wanted to give all those answer that ki why I'm kind of like a thinking that. Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the filmmaking. Okay, yeah. I wanted to be a filmmaker since the beginning. I wanted to be a filmmaker, and today I also wanted to be a filmmaker. I have a kind of like a some movie named Binary Code, and I will gonna execute that movie, and I will gonna make that movie definitely. But is this thing that ki I won't be able to make this movie by the traditional way of movie making process? What do you mean by a traditional way of movie making process? Okay, yeah. So if I wanted to be a filmmaker, and if I wanted to make my movie Binary Code, okay, what kind of like some challenges, what kind of like things that I will gonna face? Okay, first is that go to the Bombay. Okay, yeah. If you wanted to go to the Bombay, that does really require money, at least 2 lakh rupees per year. Okay, yeah. Or 1 lakh rupees per year, not 2 lakh, 1 lakh rupees per year. And you have to go to the Bombay and work at some sort of ad agency in any of those production like basically ad agency, and you have to do any kind of like assembly work at production, means like that, bring this, bring that, set up this, hold this, wagera wagera wagera, kind of like assembly labor job. Okay, yeah. You have to be work there. Okay, yeah. Then you have to do those things for at least like a 1 or 2 year. Okay, during this process you just have to build the connection, build kind of like a something network. Okay, yeah, so that you would get work. Okay, yeah, and somehow you will get some sort of money to survive in the Bombay. Okay, and simultaneously you will gain the knowledge regarding about the production and kind of like a something the inside how does film and movies and ads are mix. Okay, you will kind of like a work behind the camera. Okay, then when you build up that connection and things like that, you will kind of like simply do work as a kind of like a something a senior position, like something really assistant director or something that key assistant, whatever it is. Okay, yeah, so you will have some sort of position and you will do kind of like a something work. You have to do those things for almost like a 2 year. Okay, so 3 year for kind of like assembly doing any kind of like assembly connection, building a labor work. Okay, then 2 year for kind of like assembly doing some professional work as a kind of like assembly as a filmmaker. You should supposed to be called that position as a filmmaker, because you are doing as a assistant director, because in the end I wanted to be a filmmaker means a director, right? Yeah, then what you do is that during this 2 year you will kind of like a simply act as any kind of like a simply assistant director, something like that. And during this process you just have to write your story. Okay, yeah, make sure that the story that you wrote is a kind of like a simply very short story, not short story, it's a kind of like a simply story that doesn't really require that much amount of money to execute, doesn't really require that much any of stars and nothing really at all. Just to make sure that story is just good. Okay, yeah, it has to be good. Okay, and you have to pitch that story to the kind of like a such a producer who is invest at least like a 1 cr rupees. Okay, yeah, like basically this movie should supposed to be executed in 1 cr, that's it. That's the kind of like a minimum budget. Okay, yeah, so that you would execute that film. Do I have that kind of like a simply film? Yes, I have that. Yes. Okay, when you have that, then probably it depends on how does movie work. If that movie work really well, then you will get the opportunity to work even more good films. Okay, yeah, if that movie didn't really work, then probably you just have to do the things. Yeah, you will get the another chance, and till then you just have to do any kind of like a some assistant director or any kind of like a something. Yeah, and after almost like a three year of kind of like a labor work, 2 year of kind of like a something a professional kind of like a something filmmaker work, and then after kind of like a couple of failure of project and things like that, after almost like a 7 to 8 year of experience of filmmaking, something like that, you will get kind of like something opportunity to build your movie. Okay, yeah, as a binary code is a kind of like something movie that I wanted to make. Now let me tell you one thing now. This movie, this binary code movie, is complete badass action movie. And yeah, does this movie does really require so much amount of money. Okay, yeah, at this moment it does really require at least 100 cr rupees for executing this movie. And where is this money came from? Will the producer kind of like a something showing your guts that you could kind of like execute that movie, or like basically this thing now, it's I'm talking about the 100 crore rupees. That's a really big amount of money. Okay, from Indian context point of perspective, it's a really big amount of money. And probably this thing everyone wants to be kind of like a something earn money from it. Okay, yeah, will I able to kind of like a something such a person to execute that movie? And also another thing is that this movie doesn't really require money. No, it really required kind of like some effort, like consistency and everything. It's a lot of things, dude. It's not like a back end of this movie work was like a really different thing. Okay, yeah, so because of like I'm just trying to understand by myself, like this is my path. Okay, yeah, like literally, yeah, this is my path. Like it has been like almost like a through 4 5 year, like a 10 year of kind of like some all those possible way to thinking about that ki how would I supposed to be a filmmaker. And this is kind of like some path that I kind of like some found that. Okay, yeah, now this is the path and I have to kind of like walk on that if I wanted to be a filmmaker. After all those efforts and everything, will I be able to become that particular person? Will I be able to become that filmmaker? Well, probably not. Why? I think that the problem is in me. Yes, is in me. There are a couple of things that I didn't really have. What is actually this thing? I give up easily. Yeah, literally easily. Because I think that na ki Usually is this thing when I found that ki if I do some sort of work, and if that work fail, that is okay for me. Like if like basically the failure is actually happened with me, that is okay, because I usually like used to with the handling the failure, and I did handle the failure multiple times. Okay, yeah. But the one of the worst thing is actually happened when you kind of like realize that because of your failure, so many people are kind of like a lost something, opportunity, money, and things like that. And when this thing is actually happened, you feel really crushed because of that ki, because of your failure, it affect on someone, and that is kind of like a something, one of the really worst thing, that it kind of like a something really that reason for me to give up. Yeah. So probably this thing that ki, yes, I would kind of like a simply give up, because and also another thing is that it's not kind of like a somebody, I am not a kind of like a somebody risk taker too. Okay, yeah. Like probably like this kind of like a something skills that you gonna develop in the future, na. Why are you thinking about it right now? Well, I don't know, yeah, dude. I'm thinking about very practical point of perspective. Okay, yeah, let's just start from the beginning. Just first step, going to the Bombay does really require at least 1 lakh rupees. Do you have that 1 lakh rupees? Or would you ask money to your father for this 1 lakh rupees? I don't want to ask money for father for 1 lakh rupees. Then what do? Go to the Bombay and do your job. But probably if I started doing a job, then probably I won't be I won't be able to become a filmmaker because of that. If I started doing a job, then most of the time is actually consuming doing a job instead of being a filmmaker. So it's a kind of like a some entire the rat hole I was actually kind of like in 2016, that I decided that I wanted to do a job and simultaneously I will be a filmmaker. And after 4 year of kind of like a something fuck all, I realized that it's not gonna work out. If you wanted to become the particular person that you want to be, just go through that. And it's not okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing doing a job and kind of like a surviving Bombay, then most of the time is kind of like a something, I'm just surviving in a Bombay, that's it. I won't be able to become a filmmaker, and probably the path that I decided, it will take even more longer, maybe almost like a 20 year or 30 year to be a kind of like a somebody executing my films. So probably it's not, it definitely not. Okay, then so for me, like I kind of like a somebody real, I kind of like a put I kind of like a somebody go through that path multiple times. I took the simulation inside of me, inside of my mind, that what if I took this, what if I went to the Bombay, what will gonna happen, what if I did this, what will gonna happen. Like am I able to build the connection, am I able to kind of like build the network. Like let me tell you one thing, I am not really good in the communication. Like I am little less confidence. Like right now I build up the confidence because of, yeah. But is this thing na ki these are the confidence that I have is because of the kind of like some surrounding situation that I know really well. But in a Bombay, things might be something very different, because let me tell you one thing now, when you are kind of like a somebody surrounding with such a people who is kind of like a somebody higher authority and things like that, you will kind of like shit in your pant. And I am that guy that I would kind of like something shit in the pant when this thing is actually happened. So so basically confidence is also kind of like a something that I don't really have. Might be I would kind of like a build up the connection and network, but these are, I don't know, yeah, dude. Like I am surely like I'm actually like a, maybe if I kind of like a went away, then probably the problem that I might thinking is not that problem. Okay, might be it's kind of like a little less. But who knows, dude? I'm talking about like a basically going to the Bombay. Like I'm not deciding to come back. If I come back from the Bombay, then probably I'm failure, literally failure. Because let me tell you one thing, I'm kind of like a belong to the such a surrounding where um, to be a kind of like a something to kind of like a something work and such a career where is like a filmmaking something like that, or any kind of like a something creative work in my society is not accepted. Means like that in here, like the surrounding in my here, people are accepted to be a successful, means like that doing a kind of like something job, a engineer, a doctor, or any kind of like some cleric, or kind of like a go into the kind of like a labor work and earn at least 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees. My father, my parents are kind of like only appreciate that ki, you are doing this thing, ads is good. Okay, yeah, because they are not kind of like only expecting to be that ki you have to go to the Bombay and do a filmmaking. So basically I'm that from surrounding. So if I went to the Bombay, then I make sure that I have to be successful. If I'm not, then probably there is only one thing that I have to do is die, that's it, because there is nothing really at all. And I think myself in every situation that what will gonna happen if this thing happened, if I went to Bombay, what will gonna happen, if I work in ad agency, what will gonna happen, if I kind of like started doing my kind of like a something movie, then what kind of like a something hassle that I will gonna face. I think about every possible way, and every point of perspective I fail so much, so much. And might be like if I'm kind of like a something be a kind of like a something hope in myself that I could do those things, then probably it will take 20 to 30 year to execute my film binary code. 20 to 30 year. My age is right now 32. That means at the age of 60 I will execute my film, literally almost at the age of 60. I don't know, dude. It's like that na ki probably I I I don't know. Like I wanted to be a filmmaker, but the traditional way I won't be able to filmmaking. I won't be able to make that particular film. Okay, yeah, the chances of making my film binary code is almost 60%. 40% is failure, 60% based on kind of like a something the effort that I will gonna do for almost like a decade of things, then I might 60% chance, 40% still I'm thinking will be a failure. Okay, yeah. And as also the creative liberty and things like that, because binary code is a movie is kind of like a something that I think about so much in detail, so much that what will gonna happen, what kind of like a shoot, what kind of like a something shot, what kind of like a something camera, what kind of like a something execute that particular scene. I kind of like a print that everything in my head, what should I supposed to do, and I wanted to do those things exactly I wanted to think. Okay, yeah, it's my vision. And probably for this kind of like a something 1,000 movie of this thing, maybe lot of kind of like a something creative liberty are compromise. I have to do compromise because a lot of monies are actually invested in it, and probably I don't really have that kind of like a some creative liberty to execute the movie that I want it to be. And in the end, the movie I will gonna make is kind of like something really fucked up. Even if I put almost like a 30 year of experience of filmmaking, still I won't be able to kind of like a something achieve. Because let me tell you one thing now, this binary code movie, I didn't really wanted to make this movie for the people. Yeah, literally I don't. Yeah, like a movie purpose should supposed to be make the movie for the people. I don't want to make this movie for the people. I wanted to make this movie for myself. Yeah, literally for myself. Then probably it's just like it's a lost project na. Yeah, but for me it's not. Okay, I don't really think that it's a lost project. Yeah, like basically I don't know, like people will appreciate my ideas and stuff like that, people will definitely like it. But for me, I'm just gonna for sure is that this movie is actually for myself. I wanted to make this movie for myself. Okay, yeah. But the traditional way of filmmaking, I won't be able to be a filmmaker, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. So I decided to a YouTube. Okay, yeah. Why YouTube? YouTube is a kind of like a something a platform that I would do a filmmaking. Okay, yeah. And I shouldn't supposed to go to the Bombay and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Because in the YouTube you will gonna kind of like somebody execute your idea, thoughts and creativity on your way with your creative freedom, and nothing like no one gonna kind of like gonna disturb you or nothing really at all. And I'm doing this YouTube for almost like a past 5 year, and probably I learn little bit. By the way, I'm not really earning any kind of like some money from the YouTube, nothing really at all. I right now I have almost like a 1,300 400 subscriber probably, yes. But it's like that na ki I'm gained lot of experience and I found my niche, what should I supposed to do, and I'm doing it. And basically YouTube is a kind of like a some way that I'm not throwing it out. I am actually uploading every single day. Today I uploaded, tomorrow I'm gonna upload it. And basically this thing, YouTube is a kind of like it's only part of me for the very big long period of time. Okay, because right now I kind of like simply build, I kind of like something build up my YouTube career in a such a way that I will execute my content without kind of like simply hustling my kind of like a simply work and things like that. So yeah, YouTube will not gonna go on. I'm kind of like doing the YouTube and things like that. Then where is this business came from? Like what exactly is this business stuff? You never really think about business, you never really wanted to be a businessman, and right now you are kind of like a something wanted to take a kind of like a something think about why, like where this came from. Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately is this thing, the things that you are actually hearing is called artifact episode, and unfortunately I invented this thing accidentally, or I don't know what exactly is this thing. Okay, by the way, let me tell you one thing, what is exactly artifact. This is a kind of like some things that you are actually hearing is called artifact episode. It's a kind of like a something, a diary. Okay, like every person could wrote the diary during the night and stuff like that. I'm doing the same thing with, but in audio format. Means like that na ki I'm kind of like a recording my voice and stuff like that, and what exactly happened, what exactly my thought process, what exactly is this thing. I'm recording this thing every single day. I'm doing this thing since 2015. It's been 2025, so it's been almost like a decade of experience, and I'm recording this thing every single day. Every single day I talk about stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Because of this artifact I improve a lot. Okay, yeah. Like basically if you wanted to think about improvements like that, a physical improvement, nothing really at all. I am still broke. I am 31, living with my parents, not earning any money. So if you are consider this thing is a kind of like a something improvement, then probably not. Artifact episode is improving yourself, your thought process, your kind of like a something confidence and everything. It's a kind of like a something improving from internal point of perspective, not from physical point of perspective. Okay, yeah. It's a really hard to explain this thing to you until you experience in it. I mean, it's like a basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. The right now I'm recording this artifact. Right now it's mobile in front of me. Okay, yeah. Like have you ever? Yeah, this is a mobile. Okay, yeah. There is no one, nothing really at all. I am kind of like a something at my rooftop at almost like a 12:23 a.m. Okay, yeah. And like one of the kind of like a things that artifact is actually giving me is a freedom that I could share my thoughts and things like that. And when I do that, I feel really good. I feel really good. It's a kind of like a something that na ki I wanted to say things, but it just like that na ki, like I don't know how do I supposed to express. Like let me tell you one thing now. Okay, yeah. If I wanted to say some sort of thing, okay, yeah, I won't be able to say just any kind of like a somebody just a no one is around. No, I definitely wanted to say someone would kind of like somebody here, then would kind of like somebody communication happen and something like that. Okay, yeah. But in today's world now, I think that ki there are very less people around us so that we could communicate. What do you mean by that? Very less people. Okay, yeah. So okay, so basically almost like a 50 year ago, people are usually talk with each other because they wanted to entertain each other, because at that time having an entertainment source are really less. A television and news media, that's television, and print media, that's it, nothing really at all. But right now we have so much amount of entertainment around us that we don't really require to talk to each other. Okay, yeah. And that is a kind of like a something that there is lot of thing is inside of everyone else. Like everyone is actually went through lot of health situation, but they don't really have opportunity to talk about this thing. Okay, yeah. They will get that opportunity, they will found some sort of person, we call them as a girlfriend, boyfriend. Okay, yeah. But is this thing that ki no one gets that particular kind of like a something opportunity. Like basically I don't really have any kind of like some like girlfriend, so I won't be able to have any kind of like some like opportunity to talk about that thing. But also another thing that na ki having also that kind of like some like person, I don't really think that ki she will kind of like simply hear the things that I would talk. Let me tell you one thing. Usually my artifact episode is almost like a 50 minute. Okay, yeah. Sorry, a 30 minute. Okay, yeah. And in the 30 minute, I just talk, and I would kind of like simply express everything. Just like I'm letting go everything inside of my mind. Okay, yeah. Have you ever kind of like somebody found any kind of like somebody person who would kind of like somebody hearing you? What exactly is this thing that? No, probably not. Like basically, if your girlfriend is also be there, she would kind of like somebody bore of that stuff. Probably is this thing. I also get bored when I listen my artifact too, because it was kind of like a really bored. It's like, what the fuck was that? Who that fucking dude? Okay, yeah. So it's a kind of like a something is this thing. Now I don't know, but I was kind of like a something. I'm doing this thing artifact episode for almost like a decade, and it's kind of like a something. Only one purpose of making this artifact is kind of like a something I wanted to document myself, and as also is this thing I realized very early in my life that I wanted to do something really much bigger thing, and in that particular bigger thing I will gonna give up. Okay, yeah. So I shouldn't supposed to be give up, so that's why it's kind of like a something create this kind of like a something self-talk. Okay, yeah. By the way, I didn't really create this thing. I was kind of like a something inspired by the movie name Avatar movie. Okay, first Avatar movie. In this first Avatar movie, it's a, like I don't want to kind of like explain everything, but let me give you the context. Okay, yeah. So in the first Avatar movie, the character of the people on that particular movie went to the another planet called Pandora. Okay, so usually when the human went to that another planet, they have kind of like a something like disease called, they will kind of like a forget everything within a kind of like a couple of months. Okay, yeah. Means like that na ki if I went to that particular planet and if I stay there for almost like a 6 months, then probably I would kind of like a lose my mind and I would forget my name. Yeah, I would forget my back life, I would forget my name, everything, because of like there are a lot of kind of like something this thing which is human are not meant to be. Yeah. So basically how does those people are kind of like somebody figured out those problem is that ki recall all those bad memories or recall all those back memory again and again, so that you will not gonna forget. Okay, yeah. So what does they do? They just kind of like simply record their log video. Okay, yeah, they record their log video and they just talk about what exactly happened, this stuff and that stuff. So when they kind of like doing it, that they kind of like recall everything what exactly happened. They sleep, they didn't really forget just quickly next day. No, it will take time, but it's just like that now. When you have that particular log memory, it kind of like something that now you will always knew that ki what exactly happened, and probably that log memory is kind of like something help you to kind of like figure it out what is actually the next good decision of your life. Okay, yeah. So like I don't want to do about the context and things like that, but I was a bit really inspired by this process of log, like a recording every day about this thing. So in 2015 I kind of like decided that I wanted to took a kind of like some resolution that I wanted to do those things at the 1st of January 2015, but unfortunately I didn't really started because of that key. It's not really that much condition. At 11th of February 2015 things are actually happened, a emotional thing, and it led, I was kind of like a somebody in a particular situation where I was really sad and something like that, and I wanted to kind of like talk to someone, I wanted to execute, I don't know, I just wanted to express someone, but at that time I don't really have that. So that's why I just kind of like something decided to talk in the camera and yeah, recording stuff like that. That's why this artifact episode is actually created already. Yeah. So basically this thing, this is a kind of like a something method. Okay, yeah. And because of this artifact I feel really good, I execute my emotion thoughts and really good, like I don't know, without any kind of like some interruption and things like that. So I think that ki if I feel that much good while kind of like talking to myself and connecting to myself, it felt that much good. What if I create particular app so that people will record their audio and they will share that audio to the world, but without knowing them who are those people? It's a kind of like a simply privacy. Okay, yeah. Would you, well, like, why? Like, why don't you just create the just a recorder app and that's it? No, no, yeah, record. We have a recorder app. Like, basically, I'm actually recording this thing in mobile phone with recorder app. Okay, yeah. Why I'm kind of like a simply deciding to kind of like a simply share in public or kind of like a okay, yeah. Okay, so basically, is this thing when I kind of like record my artifact na, I talk really good. Okay, like I don't know, I just feel that na ki, oh my god, I just kind of like a talk really really good. Okay, yeah, and I wanted to share that thing, but unfortunately I can't. Why? Because if I share this thing, that means I am kind of like a putting my identity into that particular artifact. Okay, yeah, and then people will start judging me about stuff and stuff because like when I record the artifact, I'm being really honest with the stuff I talk. Okay, yeah, because like there is no kind of like a somebody judgmental. There is no judging you. Okay, so basically, is this thing that you just have to be honest and talk about stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. Okay, yeah, so basically in this when you talk about your reality then probably it's not really good reality because we are living in such a world where like a very horrible reality we have like things are really not that good, yeah, like the career is not good, the relationship is not good, and everything is really not that good. Okay, yeah, and when you record that particular stuff and when you think that you talk really good but and you wanted to share that thing but you won't be able to attach your identity into it, so it's kind of like a somebody feel really that key, no I won't. What if I create a particular app so that people would record their artifact, whatever the things that they would say, and they will share their artifact to the world, to the kind of like a somebody entire world without knowing who you are. It's a kind of like a simply privacy. Means like that key the person that you will gonna hear is kind of like a something they don't know who you are. It's a kind of like a something random name that kind of like a something provided on the kind of like a something. It's a kind of like a something a name. Okay, yeah, that the person would kind of like a listen your artifact. They don't know who you are. Okay, yeah, and you also don't know who is kind of like a public people are kind of like a listening to you. Why? Because of that na ki let me tell you one thing. When I record the artifact, I didn't really record the artifact or find of kind of like a somebody the people would like me or people would kind of like a somebody like basically like the things that you are actually hearing this artifact on the YouTube platform is because of that ki last year I decided that ki I should supposed to upload this artifact on the YouTube platform. Why? Because people might should know how is what exactly artifact and what exactly is this thing. Okay, yeah, so that's why you are kind of like a simply hearing this thing. By the way, I'm recording artifact way early, almost like a in 2015 I started recording this thing. Okay, yeah, but I haven't really record this thing for YouTube or any kind of like a like and things like that. If I make a app and if the people would started recording things like that, and when they record the artifact and they will found that they got almost like a 10 million views and stuff like that, then probably it will kind of like a create the trap. Okay, a trap means like that ki right now you are not recording artifact for yourself, no, you are recording artifact for the people, might be, and that is really wrong. Okay, yeah, because let me tell you one thing, artifact is a kind of like a something such a personal thing that it connect you, it connect you. Okay, yeah, and basically when you record the artifact, there is only one reason that you should supposed to be record the artifact is for you, it's for kind of like a something for good to you, not for kind of like a something that ki algorithm and how many views and things like that, like a YouTube drama. Like basically this thing in a YouTube we are actually making a video is because of that people should supposed to be like and things like that. Okay, and when the people like it, we have to create more and more content because yeah, like basically YouTube is a kind of like a things that you should supposed to be earn money, but artifact is not. Artifact is not like basically the people who actually record the artifact, they shouldn't supposed to be earn money. Okay, yeah, like I don't know, like I don't really think about the how does monetization system work, but it's just like that na ki like artifact is a kind of like a something stuff na, it's really personal, it's a kind of like a something drive within you. Okay, yeah, and it should it the only the pushes you for the artifact is the consequences actually happen inside of you. The consequences actually happen from in your life and things like that. And because of that, you are kind of like express and things like that. When you are obligated with the money and views and things like that, then probably you will gonna fake in the artifact. And when you fake the artifact, you will not gonna honest with yourself, because in the end you are actually talking with yourself. You are not talking with someone else, nothing really at all. There is no one in front of you. Okay, yeah. So like when you are kind of like a recording artifact for monies and views and things like that, you will not gonna honest, and you will gonna do those things for money and things like that, and this will is really fucked up. That means you are kind of like a simply faking the artifact, and that is really wrong, really wrong. Let me tell you one thing now. I record the artifact because like basically it gives me confidence, it gives me what should I supposed to think, it purify my decision making process. It kind of like I'm thinking it very wisely, what is actually my life, and what kind of like a decision should I supposed to do. I am gambling my entire life. What should I supposed to do? Be a filmmaker, be a kind of like a YouTuber, things like that. It's a kind of like a decision that I chose. What should I supposed to become is really not exist in my reality, because I am come from such a reality where these are career are not exist. I am getting lot of backlashes and resistance from my father, from my parents, from my mother, that key you shouldn't supposed to do, you shouldn't supposed to do. Every day I'm kind of like a hearing this thing and stuff like that. But because of all those things, I am doing this thing because I know one day I will gonna success. And that belief is actually came from artifact, because when I talk with myself, I just feel that I could do that. I could do that. Let me tell you one thing now, the things that I'm actually talking in English, probably I am not that person. Like I am not belong to the English school. I haven't really learned, like I have semi English school, by the way. Okay, yeah. And it's not really that same English school. Like most of the subject are in kind of like some my Marathi language. Okay, yeah. And I didn't really get that much English exposure. Okay, and by the way, let me tell you one thing. English is a kind of like a something language that elite people should supposed to be speak, and I am not that elite people, because I'm not kind of like a somebody speak that much English. Artifact is a kind of like a something way that I pushed myself. I started talking in English, and right now speaking English. By the way, this kind of like a something compliment is really not that big. Okay, yeah. But for me it's a really big, because I kind of like a somebody improve inside of me because of this artifact, and it is really good. And because of this artifact, I kind of like consider myself as a doing a YouTube. I'm consider myself being a filmmaker. I consider myself as a kind of like a somebody business person, so that I would kind of like start doing a business. I'm kind of like a somebody thinking the beyond of my kind of like a something stuff that I won't be able to achieve. And is this thing is because of this kind of like a sort of belief is actually getting from when I talk with myself, when this artifact. Okay, yeah. And because of this thing, I'm being really honest with myself while talking. Like everything that actually happened in my life is really fucked up, and I record all those things. Okay, it's not because of the views and monies and things like that, because I wanted to do this thing. I wanted to share that thing. Okay, yeah. Like basically it's like a when I record the artifact, I record artifact for myself, not for the money, not for views, not for anything at all. Okay, so that's why when I build any kind of like something app so that people would record the artifact, I make sure that the people would listen the artifact, they will don't know who are those person they are listening. And as also the people who is kind of like a listening, they don't know who is actually listening your artifact. It's like that both the people shouldn't supposed to know who is this person. Okay, yeah, they don't really get any kind of like a views and things like that, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. And as also, let me tell you one thing now, there are so many stories in the world, in the people around us are like people like let me tell you one thing now. Okay, yeah. We are living in this world, okay, for millions of years. Okay, and we are kind of like simply sharing a lot of thoughts and stuff like that, but actually we are not. What do you mean by we are not? Okay, yeah. We are not means like that na ki our thoughts are always filtered by some certain things. Okay, yeah, like if I say some certain thing to this guy is kind of like a same saying some certain thing to other guy. Okay, so it's kind of like a simply your thought process are always filtered by this thing, and it will not come into the mainstream, nothing really at all. Like there are a lot of issues in the society, stuff like that, like a racism, like a people didn't really get like a basically the people thoughts, like what does I think, what does other think. There is no platform to kind of like simply express that emotions, to express their personal thoughts and stuff like that. Yeah, we have social media, we have things, but like basically Instagram is a kind of like a simply video short form content, which is like basically not, it's kind of like a simply express your passion and things like that, but it's not kind of like a simply expressing your thoughts, nothing really at all. We have a YouTube, but YouTube is a kind of like a very different game. YouTube is a kind of like a somebody consuming kind of like a somebody for video streaming platform, means like that you would make the video and people will like it and something like that. Okay, yeah, your thoughts are always raw, unfiltered, it's not really good, sometimes it's bore too. Okay, yeah, and YouTube will not gonna promote such a video which is really bore. Okay, yeah, so YouTube, most of people don't really execute their ideas, like it's a kind of like a only YouTube is for the kind of like a somebody passion oriented people. It's not kind of like a something really a platform so that people would execute their thoughts. Okay, like there is no platform. My artifact is a kind of like a something, my app, this artifact is a kind of like a somebody platform so that people will execute their thoughts. Okay, yeah, so if I make this app and if I do those things, like it will become a business, na? Like basically I would kind of like earn little bit amount of money and something like that. So it will become some sort of business, na? So should I supposed to learn business, right? Yeah, definitely I should supposed to learn business. So should I supposed to be ask question to myself regarding about business, even if like I will gonna make the app definitely, but I I don't know, I don't really know nothing about business. I don't really know nothing about what is actually kind of like a something happen in this stuff. I don't really know. I don't really know how to make the app. Okay, yeah, like basically almost like a year ago I started building an app in Android Studio, but the timing is not really matched because my my content creation and kind of like a simply doing the building the app, it's not gonna possible at the same time. So I decided that ki it's not a time, I will gonna build the app definitely, but right now I am not like basically is this thing na ki, like if I started building like at the time like basically a year ago I started building an app, then probably I'm actually jeopardize my content creation. Okay, yeah, so what is exactly your plan? Okay, how do you supposed to kind of like a something build up the app and things like that? And also I'm gonna ask one of the most important question. Okay, yeah, as you mentioned earlier you wanted to be a filmmaker, but you won't be able to filmmaker because of there are some sort of limitation. Okay, yeah, money is the issue that is considered, but you also suggest that ki you don't really have qualities, you are easily give up and things like that. Have you ever considered that building an app and building a business is easy than filmmaking? Because you are kind of like a giving up the filmmaking career is because of that you don't really have that many skills and stuff like that. When you build the app, you're gonna face lot of criticism, lot of stuff that you don't know what will, like a lot of shit that you don't know. Okay, yeah, in the filmmaking you might know what will kind of like something come up, but in the app building business or kind of like a making money process, you will gonna face lot of criticism. And this is, yeah, this is it, like a literally like a, what if like a you are building an app and people will started talking about like they are kind of like a something talking about the porn, talking about hate speeches, talking about something that not good, then what should you supposed to do? Okay, how do you prevent from this thing? Because in the end the people, like let me tell you one thing, there is a guy who is actually talking about the porn. He was kind of like talking about his sex multiple times, he did this, he did that, and people usually like such a content. People like it's a kind of like a audio porn, right? Yeah, people have started recording their audio porn, and it went viral, then what should you supposed to do? Your platform is kind of something meant for sharing porn and stuff like that? Or let's take another example, hate speeches. Basically, I'm belong to the India, and basically the religious rights are everywhere, Hindu, Muslim stuff and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, if you give them opportunity to talk about stuff and stuff, they will talk really nonsense about this thing and that thing and stuff like that. Let me tell you one thing, well, while you are recording artifact, you are being really honest. How should you supposed to be think that other will be honest when they record the artifact? How should you supposed to make sure that they will not faking when they record the artifact? You don't really have any lie detector, you just, yeah, people would kind of record their record stuff like that. How? Okay, yeah, you will gonna face lot of challenge, dude, lot of things, lots of fucking things. How do you should supposed to be consider that ki you will gonna give up so easily in the filmmaking process, but you will not gonna give up in the app building process, or after you build the app? Yeah, what kind of some excuses that you have? Basically, do you think that being a filmmaker is far too difficult than building a business? Dude, business is a really ruthless stuff, dude. This is really fucking thing happened, and and you are giving up so easily in the filmmaking process. I don't really think that you will gonna make the app. Okay, yeah, okay, okay, I consider that ki I am really fucked up person, and probably is this thing that ki if I give up to start building my filmmaking process, then probably is this thing I won't be able to build my app. Okay, yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is this thing ki I don't know. I don't really have any kind of assembly option. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Because let me tell you one thing. Okay, there is one thing that I wanted to mention. Okay, yeah. In the filmmaking process, I wanted to make a films. Okay, yeah. I have ideas, I have creativity, but I don't really have experience. Okay, because of I don't really have experience, I would kind of somebody develop some sort of skill, and might be I will kind of something not that particular person, my chances of being failure is a really lot. And if I stick to that thing, then probably it will take almost a 30 year to be a filmmaker. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say that ki I will not gonna become a filmmaker. No, I will gonna face problem. Yeah, but it's just like that na ki if I don't really give up, it would take so much amount of time. Okay, yeah, and after all those time and effort, I will not make sure that the filmmaker that I wanted to make, a binary code that I wanted to make, I will not gonna make the binary code as well as I want it to be. Okay, if I wanted to be a filmmaker. But if I became a business person, if I became build this app, and people would kind of something, I would teach them. Now I would teach them what should they supposed to talk. Basically, if I build the app, okay, if I build the app, I would have a lot of people to kind of somebody take care of my behalf regarding about what they should supposed to be talk, what they shouldn't supposed to be talk. I would have my algorithm, what kind of some content should we supposed to promote to my platform. If the people who are kind of talking about the porn and stuff and sex and things like that, I will not gonna promote such thing na. Basically like a YouTube, yeah, you could upload any kind of assembly video, but when you upload the video, if you upload your porn video on the YouTube platform, YouTube will block that thing. Okay, yeah, YouTube will not kind of promote any kind of something sexual stuff in their platform. Same thing I would do in my platform too na. Basically I would have a lot of kind of some solutions to figure it out, and I will make sure that people will not gonna lie. And as also is this thing that I'm gonna ask couple of questions to them, to that how would you supposed to ask question to the people who record the artifact. Basically same thing that I do now. Basically I ask question to myself, I get from the question from ChatGPT. So basically what should I supposed to do is that when I build the app and people will talk about any kind of some topic and stuff like that, I would kind of choose such a topic that they are really interested in it. Okay, yeah, and they are literally honest with it. Okay, yeah, it just I don't know, basically this thing na ki yes, I am accept that ki when I build the app, when I build this particular business, I will gonna face lot of problem, lot of things, and it's really not that good. Definitely really not that good. Okay, yeah, but I would have kind of like a something information experience about artifact, because I am recording artifact for almost like a 10 year. It's been almost like a decade. I do know how it kind of like something record, how I do know how it kind of like implement in my life. I do know how it kind of like something improve my life and things like that. Okay, yeah, which is actually happened because of my expertise. I have experience in this particular field of criteria. Okay, yeah. So you just think that na ki when such thing happen, I know really fuck thing happen when you build the app and build the business, stuff like that. There is a lot of like a really fucked up thing happen, but I know I could manage this thing. But I won't be able to say this thing in the filmmaking process, because let me tell you one thing now. When I build my app, when I build my business, it's all up to me. Like if the failure is actually happened, is happened because of me. Like, and I know how do I supposed to fix that mistake, because I am controlling all those things. Okay, yeah, if I am being a filmmaker and somebody is actually putting money into my film, then probably it's kind of like a something very different picture. Means like that ki I would not own the picture that I make, because somebody is actually investing money into it. So basically it's a 50-50 partnership. Means like that the my thought process and his thought process is kind of like something match and things like that. Okay, so I don't know. I still not like basically I am really fucked up right here, or maybe just like that my ideas is really fucked up. Maybe I don't know. Like I'm not kind of like a only person that I should supposed to know what will gonna happen in the future. I know resistance I will gonna face in every sector, like every day. Okay, yeah. But I am really make sure that I will solve my mistake, or I will fix my mistake more in building app, less in a filmmaking. Because in the filmmaking process, my mistake is kind of like a something like that something like that something that I won't be able to do that because the monies and things like that. But in the building app, when I build the app, build my business around us, then probably it's kind of like something is this thing that ki I would execute the I would solve my mistake. Okay, I will fix my mistake. I don't know. I don't know. My guts is actually saying me that ki I have to be build this app. Okay, yeah. Because being a filmmaker, it's not gonna easy for me. Really not. Okay, yeah. And basically, if I wanted to become a filmmaker, then probably my chances of kind of like a something success is 60%. Yeah, it's not 90% or 99%. It's a 60% or maybe 50%. Okay, and that 60% does really require so much amount of effort, belief and stuff like that, confidence and everything, and communication network and communication skills and something like that. And after all those years of effort, 30 year of kind of like some experience and all those things, I might gonna achieve only 60% of the success. Only 60. Okay, this is kind of like a ideal things like that. In reality, there are a lot of fucking happened. But when I build the app, I would have kind of like a something 99% or 100% I'm gonna show is success. Why? Okay, yeah. First of all, this platform is not exist. Yeah, literally not exist. Like there is no app platform who could kind of like a something sharing any kind of like a something thoughts, so that people would kind of like a something share their thoughts. This platform is not exist. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, but these are kind of like a simply execution of passion oriented people, not for the thought oriented people. Okay, yeah. So this platform is not exist. So if I create this platform, then probably I will get early advantage, early mover advantage. Okay, yeah. As also is this thing, artifact is a kind of like some this stuff that I don't know who is kind of like a recording. I don't know. Like basically it's a kind of like a something invention that no one does it, or I don't know. Okay, yeah. But I don't really found any kind of like a only person who does that thing. If I kind of like a something, I think that now it's artifact is kind of like a some stuff that I would do that because my success rate is really higher in this thing, because I don't really face any kind of like sort of competition, because there is no competition. There is idea is no one is actually executed, and probably I would have higher chance to be a kind of like somebody invented such thing that. And as also I have kind of like a sort of 10 year of backup of things like that, so that people would understand how what is exactly artifact and things like that. Still, I don't know, dude. Okay, I haven't really seen the future. I don't know what will gonna happen. There is one thing for sure is that ki resistance I will gonna face every chapter in my life. Okay, yeah, but my gut telling me is this thing that ki if I build the app, I would have some certain amount of money. Definitely I would have some certain amount of money. Okay, yeah, I will kind of like a simply build a such a app thoda, such that key like basically I shouldn't supposed to be kind of like a focus on this app all the time. Okay, yeah, because I would kind of like a hire multiple people so that they would kind of like a simply work behalf of me. Okay, yeah, then money is not an issue, because of that I will have a lot of money because of the artifact. Then I will gonna execute my filmmaking idea like a binary code or kind of like a gharchi ghost, these kind of like a something, the film that I wanted to make. I will gonna make this particular film because I want it to be. Okay, yeah, and basically this is my money, so basically all the creative liberties is actually kind of like a some decide by myself. Okay, yeah, and basically I would execute like basically this thing. These are the two movies that I wanted to make for myself. Okay, yeah, because I don't know, but yeah, this is kind of like a movie that wanted to make. And when I make that particular movies, I would kind of like a consider myself that ki, yes, I am a filmmaker, because the things that I decided that I wanted to be, I execute that, because in a traditional way it will not gonna happen. Okay, yeah, so basically if I build the app, I will not gonna become a businessman. Like I will become his business person. Okay, yeah, like earn a lot of money, amount of money and things like that. As also I will also become a filmmaker. Okay, yeah, and as also YouTuber is still going on, so yeah, I will also be a YouTuber. Okay, yeah, so yeah, why not build the app and build the business and stuff like that. I will. I will. Okay, yeah, so tomorrow I will gonna ask a bunch of questions regarding about business and stuff like that to understand myself. Right now I am not just build the app just now, no, it still take time. Okay, yeah, but I will gonna. Okay, I don't know. All right, this is it, and thank you.